In this brief tutorial, I'm going to show you how to cut or split an audio track in Audacity. When you start editing your podcast episodes, there's a good chance that you're going to actually need to remove some of the stuff that you recorded. After all, you don't want all your listeners to have to sit through 5 minutes of rambling while you get your stuff together, or the 30 seconds of silence at the end of an episode. So that's where cutting and trimming comes into play. You're able to remove parts of the audio that you don't want your listeners to hear without having to worry about being perfect when you're recording. So if you look at my Audacity screen here, you can see I already have a file pulled in. This is the selection tool, this I-beam right here. So the first thing you might want to do is divide one audio track into two separate clips. So in order to do that, you would just move the cursor using your selection tool to wherever you wanted it to be. So let's say I want 4 minutes and 45 seconds. And then from there, you would just hit Command or Control I on your keyboard. So now this one audio clip is actually two clips. So if I go up and use the time shift tool, I can show you that indeed this second audio clip is now completely separate from the first audio clip. Now let's say that instead of splitting the audio, you actually want to remove a particular segment. Let's say that from this section right here, right before 5 minutes up to 5:15, I actually want to cut that out. So if I go back to my selection tool and then down here, click and drag the section that I want to remove, this creates that selection. So now any editing that I do in Audacity is going to apply directly to what I just selected. So in order to cut this out and move everything from the right of that selection over to fill the space, you would just use Command or Control X to cut. And what that did was that cut out that piece of audio and shifted everything to the right. Now let's say that instead of moving everything over, I actually just want to leave that empty space there once I delete the track. So for that, you're going to need to use Control or Command Option K or delete in your edit settings. So if I just hit Option Command K, then you'll see that it deleted that portion that we had selected, but it left everything to the right of that selection where it was. Now, the last thing that you might want to do is instead of deleting the selection you have highlighted, you want to actually keep that selection and delete everything else. And that's called trimming your audio. So for that, we're going to leave this selection, and then the keyboard shortcut to trim is Command T. And that deletes everything except what I had highlighted. And all of those different commands and shortcuts that I just did, you can find in your Edit tab. So that means that even if you forget the shortcut from time to time, you can still go to this tab and do all of these edits to cut and split your audio tracks. Now, if you want to learn everything that you need to know about editing your podcast episodes in Audacity, from normalizing your volume to adding compression, removing background noise, and more, then make sure to go and watch our full Audacity tutorial series. I'll leave a link in the description below this video so you can go and check out those videos. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the Buzzsprout YouTube channel. Every single week, we're putting out new gear review videos, podcast strategy videos, and software tutorials like this to really help you grow and thrive as a podcaster. Well, thanks for watching, and until next time, keep podcasting.